Hey you guys, welcome to the Southern Shade Gardener. My name is Linda and we are gardening from zone, used to be 7B, but we are now 8A according to the new maps that they've drawn up. So today I want to continue on the second part of the bird feeding series that Lauren and I made earlier, and this is to actually show you a little more about the way that I squirrel proof the feeders and the seed. All right, everybody, so we're going to get right into how we're going to use all these seeds that we talked about. So this is the feeder that I told you was one of my favorites. I've already had it out, and inside I already have some of this suet here. That is one of my favorites. It's just full of actual things that wild birds are going to eat. So I don't use the suet cage a lot since I've got my feeders baffled. The squirrels don't mess with it so much. I like to put it in stuff like this. So in this fly-through feeder, I'm actually going to put in 3 things. I'm going to put in a chunk of that suet, which is here. I'm going to also put in this stuff that this is a general high quality blend, and again that information is on the other video, and then just some peanuts. All these things I get from a big box store that starts with a W. So only because, as you can see, I feed in a very high scale, so I would love to be able to shop at the mom and pop stores for bird seed, but I simply would not be able to afford anything. However, I do shop there for high quality feeders, and the pole that I use, but I'm also going to show you a more affordable option for that as well. So I'm going to put these in here. And this is what's going to go up for one feeder. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So we also have here, this is a peanut feeder. Peanuts are so much fun, and will get you all kinds of birds that you probably didn't ever think you would get. But I also will drop some suet into this as well, because I can, and it's fun to watch. So this would normally be covered, but the cover I have is quite old and it's unsightly, to be honest with you. So I just opted to show you this way. But you want to cover, you don't want any seed to get wet ever, because wet seed will naturally start to break down, and there's no airflow through there, so then you're going to get mold, and mold is just toxic to anything. So this will be covered when I put it back up front in my front yard. So there's this feeder, which you can see is pretty cool. The birds will come right up to here, and they'll sit here and they'll pluck out a peanut or chomp on the suet. And this, again, this is another location in my yard. And then lastly, this is a regular seed tube. And again, I know everything is absolutely ginormous, but I've fed the birds for 25 years. We have a lot of birds here, and I will go through a lot of seeds. So I opted to just go ahead and buy these giant feeders. And these do carry a lifetime guarantee because they are from Wild Birds Unlimited, or they used to. I'm pretty sure they still do. So, and these, just to kind of another thing I was talking about earlier, everybody loves to feed the cardinals. Yeah, it's very hard for a cardinal to sit on a peg that juts out of a feeder. These are actually designed to make it easier for cardinals to eat, and your bigger birds, because like your woodpeckers and that, because they're just easier for them to maneuver their larger bodies on these feeders. So there's that. And then again, these are just what I normally buy. These are the peanuts. I get these from Big Box Store W. About $11 a bag now for 5 pounds. And then this is my favorite suet from that store as well. And if you're wondering about this beautiful little thing back here, it is 2 days before Christmas. And one of my favorite YouTube channels, Grow For Me 5B, they made this as a cat-proof way to have plants in their house. It's a little terrarium that came from IKEA. And I do have cats, so this works really great. I bring it outside every other day or so, just so the plants can get sun, because they are sun plants. And those two guys are the bomb. I love them both. So there is that. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you in the next clip. We're going to talk about how I place these feeders and how we keep them squirrel proof. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this squirrel proof pole system that I bought years and years ago from Wild Birds Unlimited. I just have such a problem with this sun. Anyway, it is beautiful. When I got these quite a long time ago, they were made of raw iron and constructed in the United States. And I don't believe they are that anymore. And this looked a little rough about an hour ago or so, but I sprayed it with some black Krylon spray paint, and that's just how they come out. They're just gorgeous. And actually, I have one out in the yard. Oh, where is it? Here. This is how. That's a mess. We're not going to go there. So, let's see if I can show you way out there. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. That is yet another pole system. And there's a very long baffle on that one. That's actually a snake baffle. I have had, I think, countless numbers of bluebird families born in this yard. And much of my luck is just due to not so much luck, but knowledge. So that bluebird house out there is actually got the snake baffle has prevented several snakes right in front of me from getting in there, because a snake will so easy crawl up a pole and get in and get your babies or whoever's in the box, unfortunately. So let's talk about how this works. It starts off here. This is the little flange that screws to your deck. Anyway, it has these 4 screw holes in it. So you screw it to your deck, your wood, or however you're going to put it up. And then you put the pole in. So you screw it in. This floats. So if a squirrel thinks it can hold on to it and jump over up to the feeders, it usually has a very hard time. So this would be my preferred method of deterring the squirrels. So just want to show you how that works. And that's it for today. I'm going to leave you with a few extra minutes of the bird feeder now that we have gone over how to squirrel proof these feeders and what kind of seeds to put out to get the biggest variety of birds that you can possibly get in your yard. And also, between the previous video and this video, we've gone over some great squirrel proofing options. There are lots of squirrel proof feeders out there. I didn't really show many of those because I'm not a fan of them. For instance, if you have a hook with a squirrel proof feeder on it, and you finally get birds who have the nerve to come up and sit on the bird feeder, in 5 seconds a squirrel's going to come and jump on that feeder just because they think they can get seed out of it. So it ends up chasing them all away, and it's just exasperating. So to me, after trying everything in the book, this is my favorite method. Using the squirrel baffle, keeping your feeders above it, keeping the pole 9 feet away of a launch that a squirrel can launch from, say, your house or a tree onto the feeder. So there's some good information out there. And you'll notice that I have all kinds of bluebirds eating. There's other birds too you're going to see in a little bit. But the bluebirds are there primarily because of the great seeds that are out of the shell. Because bluebirds are insectivores, they cannot break open a shell. They don't have the strong beak for it. So when you put things out freely for them, such as suet or hulled sunflower seeds or even mealworms, which I've done, you're going to get a lot more of a selection of birds coming to your feeders. So with that, I will leave you all with a wish for a happy holiday season and a great New Year's, and we will be talking to you soon. Thank you so much from the Southern Shade Gardeners.